Before we start cross-compiling the Windows Qt, we need to push all the source code to our GitHub repository. We will be doing it from Windows, so we have to install the GitHub desktop. After installing, we will be working from our Ubuntu terminal which we installed in Windows. I have provided a paste bin for all the commands in this video. Follow closely. Be aware, this is a very long process. For just the 64-bit Qt alone, it took 2 hours. This was mostly compiling time. It may take you longer, depending on your computer specs. Right, let's get started. The first thing you need to do is install the GitHub desktop on your PC. This will allow you to push files to your GitHub repositories. Go to desktop.github.com to download. Once installed, open the application. You will see some options. We will be choosing the second option. Clone a repository from the internet. However, before we do, we need to make sure we have a repository in our GitHub first. As you can see, I do not have any repositories yet for our coin source code. You may have already created one for your Linux binary release, in which case, use that. For the purpose of this video, I will be creating a new one. We will create a repo with a README file. So, with your GitHub account open in your browser, navigate to the top right and create a new repository. Name your repo. I will name mine VisionX, as this is the name of the tutorial coin. I will add a description stating, tutorial coin. This should deter people from mining it. Then scroll down and check the box marked, initiate this repository with a README. Click on Create Repository. With that done, we have a fresh repository. Now our GitHub desktop will see this and allow it to be cloned. Head back to your Windows desktop. Now, we have the full source code in our Ubuntu virtual machine. We need to move it over to our Windows desktop. But before you do, be sure to open it up in your terminal and use the command make clean. If you forget, you will be trying to push the code to GitHub with all the dependencies too. That would make your files too big. There are a few ways to move your VisionX master file over to your Windows desktop. You can compress it to a zip file and drag it from your virtual machine. If that doesn't work, you can compress it and upload it to something like Dropbox or Google Drive. Then in Windows, you can download it. Once you have the master folder on your desktop, check that it has all the files. As you can see, we have everything as before. You don't need to investigate too much. Just be sure it contains the src file, and you are good to go. If you are following this tutorial using the read-in source code, you will notice a text document called Bitcoin Talk Announcement. We should delete this. These are read-in's notes for their announcement. We don't want to push them to GitHub. Once deleted, move back to your GitHub desktop application. If this is your first time using GitHub Desktop, you will need to sign in with your GitHub account. To do this, go to File, then Options. You will see 4 tabs: Account, Git, Appearance, Advanced. In the Accounts tab, log in with your GitHub username and password. In the Git tab, add your username, then save. Once you are logged in, you can choose the option to clone a repository from the internet. Here you will see Recent Repository. Click on the repo and then choose Clone. It will then proceed to clone your repository with the README file. You can see that it is making a subfolder called GitHub in our Documents folder. Inside that folder will be our repository called VisionX. Once cloning is complete, navigate to that folder. Now we can see our repo. It only has the README file. Next we are going to go back to the desktop. We will drag-drop all the files from the Vision X master folder to the Vision X folder in the GitHub subfolder. With both files lined up, select all in our master folder. Then drag them over. When prompted, you can replace the README file. Now we can return to the GitHub desktop. You will see that all the files are now registered by the program. We need to first click on Fetch Origin. Then, to be able to push them, we need to write a summary. This we will call initial commit. Then click on Commit to Master. Wait a while for it to process all the files. Then, once ready, in the top right, click Push Origin. This will push all the files from that folder to our GitHub repository. With that complete, we now need to go take a look at our repository. Navigate to GitHub in your browser. Refresh the browser, and you will see the changes made. We now have our full source code. It has the comments to show it is our initial commit. That is the end of this part. In our next video, we will install Ubuntu on Windows and start installing dependencies ready for cross-compiling.